So oftentimes as men, we find ourselves in silos because we do box ourselves in and we don't take that. I wouldn't even necessarily call it a leap of faith. It's more so just getting yourself out there and wanting to experience what that may look like, finding your tribe, finding that community. One of the things you definitely lose is the opportunity to be vulnerable, right? When you think about the conversations that you may have with a spouse or a girlfriend, or even your family or a parent, right? Those conversations are much different when you have that with your homeboy. And I think when you have a brother that you can speak with and have that conversation with, that you can truly confide in without being judged, we go so much further than having that those emotions bottled up. You know, when I think about accountability, each and every day we have a choice, and those choices are going to get us either closer to or further away from the goals that we have set for ourselves. So when it comes to that accountability piece, making sure that
Welcome to the Colelab. We've got a great entrepreneur here with us, Mr. Gene Martin. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing well. Pleasure to be here.
Tell us two random facts about yourself.
Two random facts about me. I did grow up in Florida, Gainesville, Florida specifically. However, I was not born in the state of Florida. I was actually born in Savannah, Georgia. So that's where most of my family resides. And another fun fact about me, or random fact about me, most people do not know that I was actually a college athlete. But I went to the University of Florida. I was a track and field athlete and actually won an SEC championship as a high jumper during my time there in 2008.
Well, congratulations on that championship.
Thank you.
That's outstanding. What childhood experience influenced your leadership style?
When I think about my leadership style, I think of two things. Number one, my mother. Her providing me with a lot of different exposure, her being in social services for the majority of her career and just providing me with that light of being able to help people and provide people with resources and tying people to resources. And I think the second thing that really guides my leadership skills are my involvement in sports, and specifically team sports, working towards common goals with, fellow teammates, things of that nature. And, I'm very competitive. So hate to lose. Winning comes with the process, but absolutely hate to lose. So making sure that, if we're working together as one, trying to accomplish a goal, I vocalize that in my efforts during that time frame of playing team sports. So I think those two things definitely have guided my leadership style when it comes to the work that I do today.
Cool. I want to learn a little bit more about your business. Tell us its name.
Yes, Route 7 Orlando.
How did you come up with that name?
So the name definitely different, and I love that people ask that because oftentimes that is the most commonly asked question of our organization. How did you come up with that? And at the time, we were trying to brand ourselves early on. This was around the 2016, 2017 timeframe. And as we were coming together, we realized that we had something going on. So we were gaining momentum with the consistency of our meetings. And we were thinking, there are 6 major highways here in the Orlando in the Orlando area that brought people to and from where they wanted to go. We wanted to be the 7th route that brought men together for the sole purpose of growth and development. So there was born Route 7 Orlando. That's how we got Route 7 Orlando.
That's extraordinary, man. What does accountability mean to Route 7, and what does it look like for your members?
So, when I think about accountability, each and every day we have a choice, and those choices are going to get us either closer to or further away from the goals that we have set for ourselves. So when it comes to that accountability piece, making sure that we are striving towards putting in the work and the effort towards the things that we want to set out and accomplish. What that means to Route 7 and our members is more so, how can we help each other streamline that process, avoid barriers? Oftentimes there may be things that you want to accomplish or, want to achieve, and you may not feel like it, but having that individual that's there to push you, check up on you, because the nature of what we have been able to develop is you don't want to come back to that next meeting, or you don't want to have that next conversation where there's been lack of progress. So us having the ability to really check in on people, and obviously we're grown men. Nobody's going to get in trouble if you're not accomplishing that. But I think as members of our organization, you want to see others succeed. Because if you're checking in on that person and they do accomplish that goal, that's a joint win, right? So that's what accountability looks like for us, making sure that we're checking in on our members, making sure that if you say something that you're going to stick to it, and if you're in a lull or if you're in a rut, how can we help as an organization get you over that barrier to become successful in achieving that goal?
Looking back now, do you think Route 7 was created for Orlando, or was it created because Gene Martin needed it?
That's a great question. So selfishly, I think at the time, Route 7 was created for Gene Martin. And reflecting back, I moved to the Orlando area in 2010. Had some friends here, but I wanted to expand my personal and professional network outside of just the few people that I did know that lived here. But for me, a lot of the events that I was attending, many of the people were very agenda driven, very transactional, but lack of genuine relationship and lack of really getting to know somebody to ultimately get to the goal that you're trying to achieve in a networking event. So for me, I took it upon myself to bring people together in different walks of life that I've come across my short stint of being here in Orlando, bringing them together and really changing the conversation, right? Not what did you do last night? How was the game? What did you do this weekend? But really, what are you striving for? And then from this small circle that we have right now, how can we help each other get to where it is that we're trying to go? And being consistent in that conversation as well. So that ultimately led for me to see that here in Orlando, there was a need for that. Understanding that, seeing that, and then, as we began to become more consistent, we see our numbers get larger and larger. And, one of the biggest things that I'm proud of is just seeing how long people have stuck with us because they actually find the value in what it is that we're providing.
It's amazing. I'm curious though, why is building friendships as an adult male such a lost art or lost skill?
That's unique. That's a very unique question. When I think about that, I like to reflect back when you think about our social settings, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we're youth, we're always going to be in that social setting of school, whether that's elementary school, that's your introduction. You go to middle school, a little bit larger of a campus, so on and so forth. It grows. But as you become an adult, you're not going to be in such a massive social setting, and your responsibilities may shift. For those of us that may have families, that may be where the priority lies. So there may be that shift, right? So when you think about, is your priority to take care of your family, or are you looking for a sense of community? And then how do you identify what that community may be? Kind of when I look at our counterparts in women, it's a little bit different. It's innate for them to want to come together as sisters in arms and having so many different options to really come together. But I do think that it's a little bit more difficult for men, men being stubborn as we are, but more so not necessarily having that common ground. And I think that's something that's unique that we've been able to provide is come as you are. Having that egoless environment for you to step in to be your whole self and to really just build with those that are a part of our organization or those that are just visiting as well. The unique thing about Route 7 is that many people join our organization for different reasons, whether that be for, hey, I'm looking to build my network, hey, I'm looking to mentor, or I'm just looking for different things that I can do and involve myself in. And you may not know, your next best friend may come from that touch point. Your next business partner may come from that touch point. And we've seen a lot of that given the different platforms and environments that we provide, whether that be an accountability meeting, whether that be a social event, whether that be a Thanksgiving giveaway, right? There's so many different atmospheres that we provide people to come together. And I think that makes it a little bit easier for men, just understanding that, it's not just a buttoned up type of organization, but there's variety in which you can find yourself and you can find your tribe.
I hear words like community, egoless environment, um, and all these great things that just tie people together. What I'm wondering is, what do men lose by finding their people late, or like waiting to build community?
When you wait as a man, one of the things you definitely lose is the opportunity to be vulnerable, right? When you think about the conversations that you may have with a spouse or a girlfriend, or even your family or a parent, right? Those conversations are much different when you have that with your homeboy. That's a whole different conversations. Those interests may be drastically different. I'm not calling my mother to say, "Hey, did you see the latest shoes that came out?" Or did you actually catch that playoff game that just happened? Right? We're not having those conversations. Or, "Hey, man, I'm going through something, and I need somebody that really knows me on a different level to help me get over whatever that circumstance may be." Those conversations are so much different, given the variety of the relationship that you have. And I think when you have a brother that you can speak with and have that conversation with, that you can truly confide in without being judged, we go so much further than having those emotions bottled up, or when we're not able to express ourselves in a way in which our brother would definitely understand and maybe help guide us through. So oftentimes as men, we find ourselves in silos because we do box ourselves in, and we don't take that. I wouldn't even necessarily call it a leap of faith. It's more so just getting yourself out there and wanting to experience what that may look like, finding your tribe, finding that community. So I think that, you do lose that opportunity to be vulnerable and to build with others that may have the same shared values as you.
I heard you speak about like wives or girlfriends a little bit earlier, women in general.
Mhm.
Why do you think that they are often the first people to realize a man needs community?
Maybe because it's come so easy for them, right? There are so many different women organizations. They're well structured. They have longevity. And I think when they look at us, it's more so like, "Hey, what are you doing? Get out the house, go make some friends, go find your community." And uniquely enough, we have found many of our members that have been exposed to us initially from their wives or from maybe a girlfriend or whatnot. Their exposure to understand more about our organization, maybe that may being at a social or a different type of event where it's going to be both men and women a part of that event, and understanding, "Hey, this is something cool that you should go check out." And you may know somebody there, right? So go ahead and take that leap of faith, go out there, check it out, and tell me what you think, right? But for women, it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier. With men, we got egos involved. I'm not trying to do all of that. But what I love about what we've created is we've had a lot of those initial thoughts from people. "I didn't know what I was getting into. I thought it may have been you had to be a certain type of way, or you had to be buttoned up or professional, or whatever the misconception may be." But we truly invite a come one, come all. Bring your whole self, because we need each other. We need each other as men, point blank. Not necessarily what your job title may be or the experience that you have, but you have so much more to offer to somebody that may be going through something that you've already gone through that can help you out, or vice versa. Somebody that may be able to lend you a helping hand, and lo and behold, you wouldn't have had that opportunity if you hadn't visited something that we may have hosted.
So you're saying there's no mold or model for the type of man that needs to come to Route 7.
I would say the one thing that we truly look for is that you're driven and you're serious about you. You're serious about the goals that you have. You come with integrity, and then you come with the willingness to build your network and expand upon your network. We love for our members to participate in the most of things that we have to offer when it comes to programs and events. But the thing is, we want to have people of integrity, those that have good moral character, but those individuals that are driven to achieve more, right? And want to expand their network and understanding that, you're probably one person or two people away from that next connection, that next opportunity that you may have been sitting on for however many years or months. But you coming in, checking us out and understanding, hey, so and so, or you are affiliated with this organization. I've been trying to break in over here. I've been trying to meet this person. There have been so many just genuine, natural connections that we've been able to, bridge those gaps. And I'm extremely proud of that from our organization and more so from our members because they are naturally them. Not all of us fit a certain mold, but that's what makes us uniquely us, and that's what makes individuals uniquely them. And we welcome that.
It definitely sounds like an organization that is really on the move, really something that men should tap into. But how does one prepare themselves to apply for being a member?
So it's as simple as we want to make sure that our organization is for you. So before even applying, we encourage those to attend at least two events. And we do have a variety of different events. We host at least one event per month, but just checking us out in different environments to make sure that this is something that you're willing to commit to. Because when I say commitment, there is a commitment piece to it because we want to make sure that you're getting the value that you're seeking. And more so when it comes to whether that may be becoming a mentor or that may be, you just want to share some goals that you may have and understanding that somebody is going to follow up with you and check up on you. And are you ready to have the conversation as to, hey, what does my progress look like? What strides have I actually been making to what it is that I said the last time I was here? So we just want to make sure that we're providing that opportunity for individuals to experience us holistically in different environments so that they understand that, more likely than not, this organization is for them.
So I want to ask specifically about a series that Route 7 puts together. Doing some research, and I saw that you had the speaker series. What outcomes did you have in mind when you developed it?
So our speaker series is super unique, and that didn't come along maybe until 2 to 3 years of us actually being an organization. So our speaker series actually was developed from our accountability meetings. So when in our early days of existence, and again, we were founded in 2016. We got our nonprofit status in 2019, but originally, when we were meeting each and every month, there were accountability meetings, and some of the shared topics of interest were financial literacy and men and mental health. And with those being reoccurring topics, and at that particular time, we didn't have those subject matter experts that were a part of our organization. So our goal in creating our speaker series, and just to name what they are, our Money Talks Financial Literacy speaker series, as well as our Men and Mental Health speaker series, we wanted to have validated, trusted subject matter experts that could truly relate to our members to bring that information to us. But one of the things that we found is, over those course of 2 to 3 years early in our existence, we understood that, if these several men have these questions or there may be barriers to information, our community at large likely will have some of these questions about these same topics. So rather than this being only for our members, let's open this dialogue up so that we can share this information with the masses, with trusted individuals on our behalf to bring this information to them. And what I'm really, really proud of is that we've been able to grow each of those platforms year over year. I think we just hosted our 8th annual Money Talk speaker series and our 6th annual Men and Mental Health speaker series this past May. So seeing that there is true value that's being provided, and then each and every year, those numbers growing and getting bigger, and then partnerships growing and getting bigger because they also find the value in what it is that we're providing. So the desired outcome is to provide people with the access to those resources that they are looking for, and us being able to be that vessel to provide those resources to the masses.
We're coming to a close, and I want to thank you for your time. Uh, so excited about Route 7 and all the amazing work that you've been doing. Congratulations on the speaker series and its success and its continued growth. Um, as an individual, though,
Mhm.
20 years from now, what legacy are you hoping that Gene Martin leaves behind?
I love that question. So for me personally, I want to be known as a serial collaborator, somebody that connects the dots. With my ego aside, understanding that the work that I do is for the greater good, and somebody that was not hesitant in making that introduction or providing that experience, understanding that, this is not just a benefit for me, but it's going to be a benefit to the community that I live in and that I serve as well.
Here at the Colelab, we have a little bit of a tradition. So I'm going to ask you that to indulge us just a little bit. I want you to close your eyes and picture the next goal, the big goal that you want to reach. When you have that in mind, I want you to open your eyes and congratulate yourself on achieving that goal.
Gene Martin, I'm proud of you for sticking to what it is that you set out to do, for being consistent, for pouring into others without yourself necessarily in mind. And I'm happy to see the success of not only this goal, but what is to come from just the bit of expansion that is on the horizon. So keep doing what you're doing, and let's grow.